good looking. A new 67 Mustang project, sitting since 2008, I believe. Started once in like 2012, but stored inside. Dad helped me load it. Thank you, Dad. The inside, really complete car, super solid. Obviously needs a cleaning. Has been painted, obviously not a factory color, but is a 289 factory car. It's currently got a 302 in it with a C4. But pretty darn solid under here. The trans needs some work. Was told it wouldn't go into first or reverse, but pretty caked under here, but at least can get a good view of what it looks like. Really solid under there. Front frame and everything. Really impressed with that. But the front tire actually aired up, so it rolled right onto the trailer. Kind of unbelievable with this, let's see if I can, it's got a big gash in it. So we thought it was completely flat. We did not think it would air up, but registered in 98. Like I said, the plates say 2008. They said and swear 87,000 original miles. Owned by one family, bought new in Colorado. I just can't wait to dive into this thing. I'm assuming we got some spacers on the rear tire, because those are some meats. I don't know what will necessarily be first, but man, I can't wait to jump into this thing. I'm gonna just get it. My plan is just get it cleaned up, running and driving. And just, I've never really had a project car. I've got the Firebird and it's been sitting for, oh man, I haven't ever driven it afoot. So, someday. But man, I wanna just get this thing back on the road. Rear quarters are rolled, so I'm sure that's for those tires. And first thing I got to do, get tires, transmission. I'm gonna drop that and just make sure, see what's in it. Supposedly this motor was out of a 75, what'd they say? 75 Falcon or something like that, the 302. And so, just kind of want to see what's in there, what trans is in there, if it's from that or if it's the original one. It is a floor shift 400, but that's what we're looking like. Man, I can't wait. Back is pretty clean, needs a headliner, needs a windshield. And there's my wife. I'll keep you up to you. Pressure. Sorry, I'm spraying. Oh, try not to get that far. Doing a little deep cleaning on the Mustang. almost. I got this side clean. Coming along, slowly but surely. Keep moving. Just a quick update. Seats out, wiped off, clean. Poop. Tried to get it out, all in the concrete. Thankfully, I wore a mask. I only found 5 little mouse skulls so far. But interior is finally vacuumed. Doesn't smell miserably bad in here. Not mouse poop everywhere. Still need to cut or take out a bunch of wiring. In the rear, biggest subwoofer of all time. And that's kind of where we are. I think I might need to take those rear quarter panels off. I'm sure there's some mice nests behind. Gauge is clean. Still need a gas pedal. There's Hazel. Hi, Hazel. As far as the engine goes, I drained oil. The drain plug was stripped completely. Got a new battery. It was an old Optima that was in there. And scratched down to the VIN, which is nice. I was just curious if that was there. It was painted over so many times I couldn't tell. One thing that I am finding that kind of stinks is the fact that there were some cigarettes. And obviously, the previous owner was a smoker, which not the end of the world, but I think all of that chrome oxidization or whatever that is would be from that. I'm not 100% sure, but that's my guess. Obviously, it's gonna need new seats. I just want to get it running and driving. I'm gonna pick up a transmission on Wednesday. Found another C4 out of a Mustang for 200 bucks. Can't beat that with a stick. And besides that, it's coming along. Just at least it doesn't smell so bad in here. I gotta clean up some mice poop and stuff like that, but got the stickers off the window. Once I get it running and driving, then I can clean it and get all the extra nastiness off, but hopefully I got a quart of oil in it right now. I got a new drain plug. It did tighten down, but not probably as much as I'd like. So I might have to do a pan, but I just was gonna see what I could make work with what I had. But next thing is getting it running. Possibly see what's wrong with the trans. I sanded the points in the distributor. Just got to finish filling it with oil. I didn't want to waste oil. I mean, it won't be bad to dump some through, but I didn't want to waste any putting some diesel oil in it, just because I had some. It's cheap. Topped off the rad. Just got to throw battery in here, hook it up, see if it's got power, and kind of go from there. I drained the tank last night, and oh my gosh, it was the most varnished fuel I've ever seen. It smelled up our whole neighborhood, it felt like. It was disgusting. So that's where we're at. Got to empty up my vacuum with all my mice bodies, but besides that, getting closer, get some fresh fuel in, dilute that last teeny bit that's in it. Luckily, I have a drain plug in my gas tank, so that's nice. And then there's Hazel. She's working with me, shop dog. And Laney way over there in our yard that needs some attention. That's all. Okay, so here's a quick update on the Mustang. I have got battery in, lightly connected. Good enough, hopefully it would crank. If not, I can always tighten it down. But about to add some oil. So Mobil 1 1540. And I have never cranked it, so we are going to see how that goes. I'm gonna put probably most of this in. I put about a quart in earlier, 1030. I'm mixing the two just because I know I'll end up changing it pretty soon. Plus, with the drain plug being stripped, I figured there's always a chance it might leak really bad and I'll need to drop the pan. Definitely some sludge. At least that I can see through that breather. I'll let it settle and then I'll check it. I'm just gonna leave a little bit in the jug and see if we have any power. I have not put the key in or anything, so I've got no idea what is going to happen. Let's see. Let's see what we got if I put the key in. Do I have power at all? Any sort of power here? Well, I heard something. Says I got a little bit of fuel in there. I'm not gonna crank it over yet. I want to disconnect the fuel line just so I'm ready in case it does crank. But at least I heard something. Oh, something was beeping at me. I'm assuming it's that stereo. I'm gonna disconnect the fuel line right there, run it into a little bottle or something, and then from there I'm gonna crank it over, see if it cranks over. I think this will show me if I've got, honestly, I don't really know what that is. I would assume it shows if you have spark, but I haven't seen one of those on a car before. I'm sure that probably makes me a noob, but oh well. I'm gonna crank it over, build up some oil pressure, and then I want to get some fresh gas in it, but that's kind of where we're at. All right, I think we're about ready to try. I put a new little piece of fuel line on. I'll cut it down to the carb when I'm ready. I don't have any fuel in the tank right now, but I just want to crank it over, build up some oil pressure. Battery's hooked up. I accidentally broke this terminal on the coil, so I spliced in a new one. I think it kind of had been chewed, so it's probably good to do anyways. But I think we're at the point where I can crank it. And then we'll go from there. I am excited to see it turn over, hopefully for the first time. I guess we'll see if we have any wiring issues or anything like that, but gonna test it out. Here we go. About to try and crank over the Mustang for the very first time. See if it has power, see if we have any wiring issues. Battery hooked up. Got a fuel line ran to a bottle, but gonna see if it just cranks over and builds some oil pressure. That's the goal. And you'll tell me if you see any smoke or anything. Right? Thanks.
Back up, Lola.
Let's see.
Come over here. Come over here.
Fart. That's pretty awesome. Obviously, like I said, I don't have fuel. I wanted to see if it holds anything from the tank.
Hello.
Nothing. That's a good thing though. We'll put some fresh gas in and hopefully get it fired up. Lola thinks so too. That's the goal, right, cutie? I'll get you up. Why are my gloves off? I'm working. Are you gonna work with me? You are? And then you're gonna drive the Mustang? Okay, let's do it. Right here. Got my spark tester in line. Battery is now hooked up. Going to crank it over, see if fuel pump's working, and see if we have spark, most importantly. Looking for a light on that spark tester. Ready? Light or no light?
I don't think so.
No light. Try this one more time. Looking for spark right there. Let's see what we got, if anything. Okay, we got a spark. That's great. Let's go. Now we're gonna add some fuel and see how that goes. Probably way too much. Most definitely too much. Now I'm a little nervous. It fired. Let's go. That's awesome. Still not pumping any fuel, so that stinks. But it did fire. That is good news. That is awesome. All right, I pulled the sender last night. There was a little more fuel in it than I thought, so be careful with that. But look at this thing. I'm gonna need a new tank, 100%. So that stinks, but at least I know that was my fuel clog. So I'll get a pump, well, not a pump ordered, but I'll get a sending unit ordered, I'll get a fuel tank ordered, and honestly, I'll probably order a pump anyways, and just go through it all. Try and blow out the lines as best I can. If I need to run rubber hoses, I will, but I'm just gonna redo this whole fuel system and go from there. All right. A little break in the action. I know I need to start filming this stuff, but I drilled out the lock, opened the trunk, subwoofer, decent shape. I don't see a bunch of rust. Obviously I can't get to underneath, but I'll have to pull the sub out first. But box of tools, old license plate, also Ford starter. How cool is this? From California Mustang. 2 new armrests, 2 new panels that go along that A-pillar on the inside. Also some GM power steering fluid. Pretty awesome. I'll go through all of it, but pretty darn cool to find. Some tools maybe I'll use, keep around. How awesome. So I need to vacuum this out, pull the sub, and then I'll show you what the tank looks like. But I ordered a new one today from CJ20 Parts. Seemed to have the cheapest. They had a kit. It was like 149 bucks. It comes with the little rubber filler neck and new tank and sending unit. To do it individually on Rock Auto was about $250, so I saved quite a bit of money. Plus I was able to get a new accelerator pedal, the screw that holds that in, and some additional parts as well, and a transmission pan gasket. So we'll see, but I'll try and show you after I pull it out, see what it looks like, and then we'll pull this out and see what the tank looks like, because that is basically the floor in these old Mustangs. But solid rails, just some dirt and lots of mouse poop, but somebody definitely painted this beforehand. Looks good, nice gloss black. I've got a new lock cylinder coming in the mail this weekend. I knew that I didn't have a key for that, but I also need to figure out this. I assume it's some sort of light, maybe. That's my guess, but I'll do some more research on that as well. All right, super dark out, so I can't show you a ton, but I just got done taking the tank out. Trunk is all cleaned up. Somebody sprayed some red in here. I'm not sure. I think that was the previous paint color, was that dark cherry. The previous owner had told me, but really solid. Really solid. So I'm really impressed with that. Tank, as I mentioned earlier, has been giving me fits. So finally got it out. This was a redone one in 2004 is the date. It actually says it on the sending in it. I'll try and show you a teeny bit. I put some gloves on here just because I want to show you. Let's see how I can do that. There's still some gas in there, but it is so rusty. So rusty. Chunks and chunks and chunks. I don't want to get too close with my light. I just don't. Safety wise, worries me a little bit. I'm gonna put 2 gloves on here, zip tie it down just so it's not, the fumes aren't getting everywhere, and then I'll recycle this responsibly, and then I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna pull the fuel pump. That's my next job, but wanted to get both those things done tonight. And I've got new tank coming tomorrow or Saturday, 2 days, and just getting that back all together. This was my subwoofer I removed, and the amp and everything. It's probably actually not too bad of one, but I don't want it in the car. I'm sure it would be fun, but so I'm not sure what I'll do with that yet, but wanted to get that out of there. I'll have to do the wiring, but here was my nuts and bolts from taking that apart. And gas tank is out. I feel good about that. I'm gonna blow through the line, see if I can clear it out, and then I'm gonna, like I said, take out the fuel pump, and I will test or at least see which one it is so I can get the exact same one ordered. So I'm ready to go. Also, you can see the really nice blue. That is the factory color. It is on the VIN tag on the door, it's a W, which I believe is aqua something. I have to look it up exactly, but really cool color. You can see factory, and then that cherry color that they sprayed after, and then the purple. So it's a mismatch for sure with the nice black decklet, but you can see factory color right there. So it is the original one, which is pretty darn cool. I don't know if there's any factory stickers on here, if they got sanded off. Doesn't look like it, but wanted to show you the tank and how nasty that was. Oh my gosh, I just moved the tank, and I had to show you this because this is ridiculous. I just can't believe it. Ready? Listen. I'll flip it back, so maybe if you missed it. Ready? Oh my gosh. That is so full of crap. All right, that's all. All right, I'm climbing under the car. I want to give a quick look of the shifter linkage so that, all right, under the car, I want to give a quick look of the shifter linkage. Right here is, let's see, I don't have a ton of room down here, so I'm sorry. Here's C4, exhaust. If you look over here, you can see my extremely well-made kick-down cable. That's held on there nice. And then, get you under my light. Here is the shifter linkage. Clearly, I think there's supposed to be a bushing between here somewhere because there shouldn't be that much play. Also, there's a ton of play in this piece too. I'm sure there should be tighter. But right here is park, so it won't go any further. Let's see, any further forward. I'm not sure, but let's see. All right, down here so that I can give you a visual of the shifter linkage. It is a floor shift. I don't have a console, but clearly I think there should be a bushing in here, would be my guess based on how much movement there is. Also, this is pretty loose. And then if you can see it, the old kick down is wired together. So I'm sure that's worked really well. But just wanted to give you a quick look. The trans, C4 trans. We'll be diving into it, trying to figure it out, but I'm gonna take this bolt off and then just click through the gears and see if they're really engaging. If let's see, I think it's locked now because of the up here. That's why I need to take this off, but I'll click through the gears and just see kind of what I got. All right, I've got this unhooked. I just want to show going through all 5 gears. You can hear it click nicely into each one. Oops, I went too far. There's park. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I skipped one, but it goes into all 5. It sounds like it really engages. It's not like it's not clicking into gear. So I don't know if that's a fluid. Maybe that's just slop and all this, but I'll dive into the actual connection up there next. It's kind of my goal, and just go through it, and hopefully my trans isn't bad. Hopefully it's just that, you know, kind of slop through all those different things. All right, I know I've skipped a bunch that I have not shown. I got the, let's hop to the rear. I put in a new lock for my key. Let's see if I can do it while filming. But if you look back here, new tank is installed. I used some butyl tape that we used for a windshield on my Firebird. I had a little bit left and I stretched it real thin, and so I ran it along here to seal it along the edges. Obviously I need to trim this down still for my key, but new tank, new sending unit. CJ Pony Parts was like $150 for the kit. It came with the new rubber hose and a gasket here for the gas cap. But I've got it lifted off the ground right now just because I want to be careful with the trans. I had disconnected the shift linkage, and I want to make sure that, you know, I'm not in gear when I'm trying to start it. Battery's connected. I ran new rubber hose. I got the metal original hose cleaned out, blown through with an air hose. New fuel pump. I went with a Carter. I'm hoping it's the right one. But all the way, 2 fuel filters up to the carb, and I have no clue about the carb, but I also have my carb off my old Bronco, so I have that ready if need be. But we're gonna crank it over, see if we get fuel. We know we have spark from earlier. Hazel came to join me, and that's where we're at. I'm gonna try and set this up somewhere so I can hopefully see it fire up for the first time. That's the goal. It should be ready to go. I changed oil in it. I think we're there. I guess we'll see. Battery's connected. It still smells not very great in here. I'm gonna pull the carpet and pull the seats and go from there, but I'm also gonna remove those kick panels. Let's see what we got here. Fuel gauge still did not move, so we're obviously not getting power up here because we have a new sending unit. We do have all right, here we are. Key is ready to go. Fuel gauge still not working, but we do have a light on the shift bezel, which is pretty cool. It's gonna probably take a little while to crank, so let's see what we got. I know it's gonna take a little bit to get fuel up there. Hopefully we're pumping fuel. I put about 6 more gallons in. Might have to pour some down the throat. All right, I'm gonna pour some down and then we'll hop back on it. Let's see. Doubt it. No fuel leaks that I see. Run long enough to start pulling fuel. got a little ahead of myself. Wanted to shoot a quick update. Pulled all the carpet out. Here's how we're looking. A little bit of surface rust. This is kind of just that carpet and insulation. It's really not. I'm gonna wire wheel it and treat it and try and see if I need to replace anything. There's only one teeny little pinhole that I've been able to see. Everything else is like super solid, very original. Seats obviously are out. Those rear panels are out. Some of the dash is out. Just wanted to kind of get in and see what I got and go from there. That's the plan. Door sills out, but that factory blue color, which is really cool. And then I'm gonna go through and see what I can clean up. Just want to make sure I'm getting this back together correctly. 4 Phillips heads, 1 in each corner. Obviously you have to pull the mechanism to adjust the seat, but I want to make sure I'm getting the items back in the correct spot. Like that shift one goes in the bottom, and this one's right there. Spring there. It attaches. Let's see if I can get that up close. There. That part of the metal bracket of the seat. All right, we got the first test fit of the wheels. These are a Riddler 611 or a 611. Whoa, this is an 18 by 9.5 in the rear, and I went with a 17 by 8 in the front. Obviously, I'm not testing those yet, but I wanted to see how flush it fits. I believe it's a 5.25 back spacing, which is like a 0 offset, which directly from the top looks like it will probably clear. I wanted to just stuff as much wheel and tire as I possibly could under there. This is kind of what we're looking like from here. Obviously it will be lowered. It's jacked up right now, but I just wanted to test fit before I mounted tires to it. As far as fitting underneath with leaf spring and everything, let's see. Not gonna hit the leaf. Looks to be clear up there as well. This is tightened down with 2 lug nuts right now. But it looks like it won't rub or anything, man. I'm impressed with that. Oh, awesome. I like the machined lip on these. That's kind of what I was going for. But the black face, kind of the chrome from the side, thought it'd look really good with the color. Plus, if I want to paint it down the road. But still have factory drums all around. Just wanted to get a good look for what it might look like on the car. I think it's gonna be awesome. But we'll see. The front, I went with a 17 by 8 with 4.5 back spacing. I'm hoping that will sit similar to that one as far as how much poke it has. Obviously, as you saw with the previous tire, I didn't want as much poke. If it would have been the more narrow rear end on the 65, 66, it might have fit. But I'm thinking that will be perfect with I'm gonna run a 275, 40, 18 in the rear, same as what I'm going with on my Firebird. And then on the front, I'm going with a 245, 45, 17. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'll show you what it looks like once I get wheels and tires mounted and balanced and back on the car, but I couldn't really drive on these, and that's kind of the next step. So I wanted to get these together. Man, I can't wait. It's gonna look awesome. Finally got the chance to drain the trans. As I showed before, I was able to get it in gear and moving forward and backwards and engaging with the correct fluid level and the linkage adjusted correctly with the correct bushings. But just wanted to show you, obviously I ran my finger there, so there's like that little bit of paste that's normally there, but couple teeny little flecks. There's also a dead fly in it. So, but just trying to show a good idea of what it looked like. Nothing crazy. Just a little bit of flakage, so there could be something wrong down the road, but there's not like a ton of it. So I guess we'll see. The Mustang lives. Backed out. First time I've ever moved it really on its own. New wheels and tires on it. Obviously I need a drop on the rear and the front. I need to adjust the shackles, maybe do a Shelby drop on the front, but it's currently running, seats in. Checking trans fluid since I did that shift shaft seal and some other stuff. Just want to get the fluid level right. That's kind of where we're at, but it's running good. Wanted to give a quick update. First wash today. Need a little buff and polish, but running, driving, got the trans shifting, had to go through it, but here we are. Interior, clean, seats reupholstered, cleaned up in here. That's how we're looking. Loving it. Really enjoying it. Ola's first time in the Mustang, driving around. What do you say? What do you say?
Thank you.
No, say room, room, room. Are you going fast or slow?
Fast.
Say, I want to go fast.
I want to go back.
Vroom, 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 vroom. Beep, beep.